Welcome to OCLive.
Dreams and goals, they take time to mature. They don't happen overnight.
Our third speaker is a Ventura County resident who's originally from Missouri, which is where most of his family still resides. He's a 10-year military veteran and single father of a 9-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. He's a major of addictive disorder studies here at Oxnard College, and he'd eventually like to transfer to receive his bachelor's in sociology and his master's in social work. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Jason Bauer.
Hello. Okay. So I want to talk about change, and I want to talk about a few experiences that I went through in my life that led me to where I'm at today. And I'm going to get right into it. So September 11, 2001, if you remember where you were on that day, just clap your hands. I think these images are ingrained in our brains. And that day changed my life I wasn't expecting that. I woke up that day, my mom woke me up, she said, something terrible happened. I turned on the TV, I'm like totally shocked about what's going on. At the time, I had nothing going on for me. My brother had joined the military. I decided I wanted to do something. I decided I wanted to join the military. So that's when I decided to join the Air Force. Thank you. So, if you're going to join the Air Force, you have to go through basic military training, right? So, if you've seen this movie, you know that you have to go through the SHIT. So that was a big change, and I was terrified. I was like, what am I thinking? Why do I want to put myself through this? And my recruiter showed me this video, and I'm like, I've seen it 100 times, and it scared me to death. But I went through it, and I made it to San Antonio, Texas, Lackland Air Force Base. I was in basic training, and the point of it is to break you down and take your identity. But then they build you back up. And that's, if you can't see, that's me right there. So I was proud of what I accomplished in the military. And they made me all shiny and new, and I was out there in the world. And actually my job in the military was to be a police officer, military police. And it's the furthest thing that I ever thought that I would ever do in my life, because I was shy and timid as a kid and a little overweight. So how was I going to be a military police officer? So I went through the training, and then I was actually pretty good at my job, and I met a lot of really good people. I deployed to Iraq and built a camaraderie with a lot of guys and women that I served with, and I'm very proud of the service that I did and everything that I accomplished in the Air Force. But I want to move on to a next change. And I got some stats up behind me. I'm not going to read off a bunch of numbers. But There's an epidemic going on in our country. It's called the opioid epidemic. I don't know if you've heard of it. If you turn on the news, you'll see it. There's people dying from this almost every day. It doesn't matter how old you are, what race you are, gender, how much money you got, what you think your status is. Addiction can hit you from anywhere, any place, anytime, even by accident. It's kind of like what happened to me. So, after 4 years in the military, I had a choice to make. Was I going to stay in? Was I going to get out? I decided to get out. I moved back home, and I went to go see a VA doctor. I had a back problem. I heard it when I was in Iraq. He prescribed me like 3 months worth of pain pills, and I'm like, after like 5 minutes, and prior to this, I'd barely taken like Advil before. What am I going to do with all these pills, right? So I'm just doing what he says, like a good little patient. I'm taking pills like every 3 to 4 hours. And little did I know that what was happening to my body, my brain chemistry was changing, my body was changing. Inside was changing. The outside, not so much yet. So this led me down a path about 8 years of addiction to pain pills, which is pretty horrifying, right? And it kind of happened by accident. During this time, too, about early in my addiction, I decided to join the National Guard. I thought that might fix me. While I was on duty one day, I overdosed, actually. And I was carrying a weapon, which could have been pretty dangerous. And it opened my eyes to what was really going on with me. I had to get help. I was messed up. There was no more hiding it. I had to talk to my chief, and I talked to military mental health. And I just want to take a moment to break this stigma. Military mental health, if any military member might end up seeing this, I want you to know it's not a sign of weakness to go to military mental health, because for a long time, I was like, hey, you don't go to military mental health. It's like a thing in the military. You don't want to go to the second floor of the medical building. That's where the counselors are. That's where the crazy people go. But they actually save lives, and it's okay to go. I went, and if I didn't go, I might not be here. So, I talked to the mental health counselor, and she asked me a few questions, and she pretty much knew what was going on right off the bat. And she referred me to this place called the Pathway Home. It's in Napa, California. It's not there anymore, unfortunately. But it was a 4-month inpatient residency program, and it was designed just for veterans like me who were suffering from PTSD or addiction. I was surrounded by other veterans. It was kind of like I was in the military again. It was a really good feeling. I had guys around me supporting me. We went through group therapy, individual therapy, counseling sessions, trauma sessions, and it saved my life. I graduated after 4 months. Thank God I wasn't there for 4 years. 4 months, I came home. It wasn't easy. It was hard. That first year was the roughest. If anybody's ever been touched by addiction and they get in recovery, it's hard to stay clean, especially in the beginning. But I persevered and I did it. And I got my 2 kids. I just wanted an excuse to throw them up there. But even the love I had for my kids wasn't enough. I had them, they're 9 and 7 now, so I had them almost the whole 8 years that I was addicted. And I thought if I loved them enough that it would be, that would be enough, but it wasn't. There's some more pictures. I want to throw your way. So, after the Pathway Home, I heard about the ADS program here at Oxnard College. It's the Addiction Disorder Studies program. Immediately, I knew that's what I had to do. I had already been taking classes, like I enrolled in 2008 in the VC system. It's now 2019. I'm like on the 10-year program, which is designed just for me. But I finally got my certificate this semester. I finally got my associates this semester. Thank you for that. The ADS program, amazing. It's not like any other classes here I've ever taken, especially the teachers. They care about their students like so much. I've never got a phone call from like a math teacher asking why I'm missing classes. But Dr. Webb, he does that. He's awesome, by the way. It taught me so much about what I went through, my body went through, why addiction happens, why it's the disease, and how I can be of help and service when I get out there in the field. So if you're ever thinking about joining the ADS program, I highly encourage it because it's top-notch. And I want to give a quick shout-out to my professors, Dr. Michael Webb, Lois Arning, Lori Sanders, Luis Tovar, Becca Porter, and especially Mr. Shilley. Mr. Shilley, if you're an employee here, I know you know who he is. He recently passed away. He created the ADS program. And if it wasn't for him creating this program and making it what it is, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today, honestly. There's a lot of people that's been affected by him and his program, and I hope to make him proud when I get out there eventually. So, I'm almost done. In closing, I want to ask the miracle question. And the miracle question is, if you could wake up tomorrow and one thing in your life was different, one change in your life was different, what would it be? It's kind of like abracadabra. So I want you to think about that. I want you to take it home. Because if I can make a change that's as big as beating addiction, you could do it too. Whether it's little or a big thing. If you want to go back to the gym, go back to the gym. If you want to eat healthy, eat healthy. If you want to beat addiction and become sober, there's always a first step and always a first day. So take that thought in closing. My name is Jason. I'm a father. I am a student. I am a veteran. I am an addict in recovery. And thank you so much for your time tonight.